In episode number 304, we cover Walmart's exclusive DC Giants comic book series.
We also finally have a green light for Joaquin Phoenix's solo Joker film. We have some updated news on that.
We've got a comic book highlight for Catwoman number 1, but also an interview with publisher Insight Editions Eric Chang.
All of this and so much more on today's show.
Hello and welcome to the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, bringing you the reasons we're broke every week, ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. I am one of your hosts, Daniel.
And I am barista Kelli today.
I was going to say, you've got your giant coffee.
I needed this giant coffee. You notice I, too, purchased you a giant coffee so that I could then steal some.
I think this is going to be a good episode. It's going to be one of the good ones. One of the good ones.
They are all good ones, except for like the first 100.
A third of them are terrible.
I never said terrible.
A third of them are not good.
A third of them aren't as good.
For anyone new to the podcast, the way we format the show is first we go over some news, we head into our Patreon shoutouts of the week, and then we also do a comic book highlight or interview at the very end, as well as the Brocat Block, where Kelli and I talk about all of the things that happened this week, and it is a very comic-centric and comic-heavy news week, so Andrew at Innsmouth Tide, you should enjoy especially this episode.
But with that, we can go ahead and kick off our news.
So DC Comics has made a deal with the devil.
The devil?
They have recently launched, not Amazon, the other devil, a DC Giants exclusive that you can only find at Walmart. This is a series that consists of reprinted and original material. Have you seen these things?
I haven't, but I am curious. Why is Walmart the devil?
They are like the physical retail of Amazon. So they also undercut all the other prices. And just to get everyone back through the door. Plus, if you ever step in a fucking Walmart, you know it's hell. Like it's really scummy. So
I mean, most of them are. They open a new one near us that's not.
Yeah, I'm not going to go anywhere near there.
All right.
I'm good.
All right. So Deal with the Devil, exclusive and new content. I have not seen these. Please enlighten us, myself, and the Brokettes.
So the way they did the format is they are larger books. They're thicker. They've got a lot of stories in them. And they even have the old dressing that these older comics used to have, the old DC Giants logo at the very top. It looks like an old school comic with the newer artwork, with the newer covers like DC Rebirth's Batman. So in these, they are consisted of new and existing material, and Tom King is actually going to be doing a 12-part exclusive story for the Superman Giant issues.
We do have a quote from him here. Quote, "My goal in doing the Superman Walmart book is to put new customers into comic shops. You like this Superman? Go check out this Batman. Why exclusive then? That was the price we had to pay to get this opportunity. I don't like it, but I think it's worth it." End quote.
Additional exclusive stories are on their way, including Teen Titans Giant, Batman Giant, Justice League of America Giant, and more. Some of these are already out.
Do we care that Tom King is doing an exclusive?
So the only problem here is that this is material that regular readers, regular comic shop readers and supporters can't get unless they go to Walmart and they buy the book themselves. The reason I'm not too upset about this is knowing DC and Marvel, they will eventually compile this original material into a trade paperback or a volume. Even stories in the past like that recent Harley Quinn animated movie that they did that kind of expanded on Batman the Animated Series. They said this series from Ty Templeton is an exclusive online only for about 6 months when we finally announced the hardcover. And that's when I was like, all right, now I can read it. And we did.
That's exactly what they're going to do. I don't see this as too much of a bad thing because just like he said, that gets other people into shops. So you have the kid who goes to Walmart every single week with his mom because, yes, Walmart undercuts, but it does save families a lot of money on their groceries. We shop at Target for our groceries instead of rich ass Publix.
Target, thank you.
I'm sorry. So by going, the kids are going to see it, say, Mom, can I get this? Mom's going to be like, yeah, go ahead, put it in the cart. And now that kid has a love for comics. And now that kid is going to go to comic shops when he grows up and has his own disposable income, just like all the rest of us.
I'm 100% with you. I think this will help out comic shops in the long run. I know a lot of people that have been trying to track these down can't really find them. It seems like they didn't stock these very heavily. I don't know if it was a let's see what happens type of thing. And maybe with the next round of them, they will be easier to find. But people that haven't been finding them, a lot of speculators have actually gone to Walmart and cleaned them out of these.
Why?
And tried to flip them on eBay and have sold them on eBay for $25. And these things are like $5 to $7 a pop.
Can you go to Walmart.com and get it for cheaper?
No, these are in store only.
Okay.
So you can only get them in the stores.
All right. Well, listen, if Walmart's app was as good as Target's app, maybe I would shop there. But I wouldn't really.
I think they're really cool. Like, I would like to own one just to see the format and actually I don't even own one. I just want to see a copy to find the old logos on it and just kind of hold one to myself. And maybe someone will eventually trade one in, and that'd be great. But I'm not going to go out of my way to hunt these, especially not at fucking Walmart.
We can go to Walmart.
You can go to Walmart. Let me know if they have them. And then get out of there ASAP.
Before they steal you and Leo. Gone forever.
Also, we've got some news here on DC's upcoming Black Issue label.
Through DC's All Access video, DC President Dan DiDio showcased the first DC Black Label issue of Batman Damned #1.
This gave us a lot of revelations because all of the issues now in this DC Black Label line are going to be physically larger than your standard current comic book, similar to the European comic format. So it's going to be taller, it's going to be wider, there's going to be no ads from what I understand, and they're probably going to be a little bit pricier too.
Beat chance.
Beat chance.
Beat chance.
As collectors, like, that always bugs me when I can't just throw it in my box. And it's a first world problem, I get it. But we had this issue with Barrier, where now it just sticks out of the fucking comic bins and it sticks out of our comic box.
Well, and you've redone how you store your comics too. It's not going to fit in your file cabinet.
I've tried to put in, no, exactly. I've tried to put in Barrier. Barrier is like a done deal. Like, it is not, I threw it in there and I'm like, all right, it's rubbing up against the top of that case every time I open and I close it. Now I have to store that with my original comic sketches, which is separate and outside my regular filing cabinet. So I'm like, son of a bitch. Like, as a collector, it bugs me that I can't put Barrier in the B's and alphabetize all of it. So now I've got that weirdo. I'm probably just going to have a magazine short box just to throw all the fucking weirdo books, all of the independent, like, this is DC trying to be super indie.
Can you write fucking weirdos on the top of the box so we all know?
Fucking indie wannabe publishers. Fuck.
Before we continue on, I do have to ask, how do you like your file cabinet?
I do like it. I was putting away some comics last night, and I finally put away like a big stack of them, and my back was significantly less painful. Like, it wasn't as in pain.
Like, it still hurt because we're old now.
Plus, I had to still do the S's through the Z's, so those are outside the filing cabinet.
Yep.
But everything before that, which is like Batman, a lot of Batman that we buy, it's like done.
That's
drop
awesome.
them in there, slide it out, drop it in. Fucking Barrier, fuck you, and get those out. I don't know how tall these are going to be. I know with our comic tabs, it does rub against the comic tabs, and I'm okay with that because you can replace them things. But with comic books, I don't want that to happen. So this will probably be one of the many books that we put aside with our magazines and boxes.
In the fucking weirdo boxes.
Have you ever read you've seen the Joker original graphic novel, right? It was many years ago. It came out around the same time of Dark Knight.
I believe so.
It's the one where he's holding like the arrested sign, and he looks like Heath Ledger's. Yes. That's the same artist, Lee Bermejo, who's actually working on Batman Damned.
Oh, okay.
And it's supposed to be a spin-off or a sequel to that Joker series, that Joker solo comic book that was told from the perspective of one of his henchmen.
We do have a solicitation here. On a deserted Gotham City bridge, a body is found. Whispers spread the news. Joker is dead. But is this a dream come true or a nightmare being born? Now Batman and DC's outlaws magician John Constantine must hunt the truth through a Gotham City hellscape. I can read, I promise.
Podcast Awards nominated 2017. The Reasons I'm Broke Games and Hobbies podcast.
Because our broke can't see, how much of my coffee is left?
How much of your venti podcast or coffee is left?
Yes.
About 2/3.
Okay,
2/3
that's like nothing. That's like I've had no coffee because I only had 1 cup this morning.
You also had 1 cup last week when we recorded, and that ended up being good enough. Ended up being pretty good. Now you've got your Starbucks.
Okay, well, I went through some difficulty this week, and we'll talk about it in our Brocat block in a little bit.
We will, and it actually ties into our interview. Eric Chang brought you up in it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Aww.
Every time we do one of these interviews, they're like, "Where's Kelly?" And say hi to Kelly. Like, they expect you to be there, too. And I always have to break the news of, like, well, Leo, we have a child.
She has to watch our child.
I don't know why I felt like, what is it, Billy Zane? I have a child! I have a child! Please, she's all I have left. All right, let him on the boat.
You know you love that child.
I love that the kid was like, who the fuck is he? He's like, oh, there. Fucking scumbag. Billy Zane, that's what it was.
Continue on. Joker is dead. Found him on a bridge.
And John Constantine and Batman are working together. Are we going to see the Joker be resurrected through black magic? What is happening? And will the John Constantine look like Sting? Are they going to bring back his old look?
Will David Bowie be the one to bring the Joker back? Because I would read that book 5 times over.
Why would it be David Bowie instead?
Because he sings Jump Magic, Jump and Black Magic. The Labyrinth.
I'd take that too. Sure.
I would read this. I think it sounds great. I'm all for it. For those of you who don't know, the Black Label is things that aren't in continuity with what's going on, so they can be edgier and they can do more things.
They said if you're a fan of Batman White Knight, which many people are, Murphy already said that would have been a Black Label book, and that Volume 2 is going to be a Black Label book. So let that be an example of what this new line is going to be. Larger format, more expensive. The paper's probably going to be nicer, but so there's some give and take on this new label, and the first solicitation just went out with the latest previews. I know a lot of subscribers kept asking me, hey, when's the next Black Label book? When are they actually going to kick those off? And I'm like, I don't know. They kind of announced those really early because it's almost the next day. People wanted the Frank Miller Superman story, and the other big one was the Robin, the Carrie Kelly one. And now it's like, all right, now we're getting them slowly in. There'll probably be another one in the next preview's catalog. So little by little, they don't want to overflood it because that's how you kill a new line. You want to introduce it and get it into people's subscriptions as opposed to here's 5 of them. Which ones are you going to subscribe to? All of them? People are like, no, I guess just these 2. Because, it's a little overwhelming. But Batman Damned looks really, really good.
Just kind of piggybacking off of what you said about, the nicer paper, the higher price, the less ads. This is really them saying these stories are not for kids. This is not for your general audience. This is for a hardcore fan who really wants to invest in really good stories. And I think that's great. It's a wonderful thing to try. I think it'll work well for them.
This is not for Walmart.
No, this is not for Walmart.
Can that be on the cover?
Maybe for Target, but not for Walmart.
Little pinky up.
I love Target. Have you ever seen that meme, by the way, where the lady's walking into Target and she's like, what do I need to get today? Just some milk. And then the Target eye is looking at her and she gets hypnotized and she walks out with a full cart and she's like, I don't even know how I got this. And it's me.
Always happens. That's why they do these exclusives. They just announced, I don't think it's on the show notes. I forgot to throw them in there, but it's perfect. They just announced a Target exclusive Pikachu, I almost said Amiibo, Funko Pop. That they must have paid up the fucking ass to have that exclusive.
Target has a ton of exclusive pops, though.
Yes, but this is the difference here is this is the first Nintendo Funko Pop. They have not done any of those in the past. People have speculated that the Amiibo market was Nintendo going, well, we're not going to give you the licensing because that might eat into our Amiibo sales, so fuck off. Now that the Amiibo sales have kind of, settled down and leveled out, they're like, all right, here's one.
The best
one, Pikachu. And who wants it? Let's hear the bids. Walmart over there, Amazon over here, Target right there. Fucking Target won it. And they know because people are going to go into Target, and as you said, they're going to leave with more than just fucking Pikachu. They'll leave without Pikachu, by the way.
This is turning into a Target ad from me. My Target app has a section just for exclusive pops, and they reveal a new exclusive pop every Friday. I mean, obviously we can look up to see which one's coming out, but they had that sexy Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park,
which listener Bobby got for my birthday.
Yes!
Thank you so much,
it's
Bobby.
So nice. They had, I didn't even know about it. We're going to try to find it today. That fucking Scrooge McDuck, swimming in his own money, was a Target exclusive. They had an exclusive Black Panther. They have exclusive Power Rangers. I forgot. I saw their face and I couldn't remember.
The Zord or?
No, it's one of the Power Rangers, but he's like super cool Green Ranger or something weird. I don't know. They have exclusive pops all the time. So good for Target. I'm glad they got it because I like giving Target my money and I get 5% off with my red card.
I like how you assume that we're just going to walk right in, get the Pikachu, and walk right out. I don't think you're going to end up with a Pikachu.
Do you know who I am?
I think they're going to understock this shit.
They know me at my Target.
Do they?
And yes, and you know what you do? You wait for that shit to show up on the app and you click order pickup and they carry that shit to the front of the store for me and I pick it up 2 hours later.
I'll leave that to you then because clearly you know what you're doing.
I have your mom pick us up groceries all the time. I'm just like, yeah, it's at the front of the store. Because she's like, Leo needs this thing. I'm like, oh, just bought it. Go pick it up.
Like his medicine, right?
Yep. He had a little cold. I think we talked about it last week. Mm-hmm. And I ordered his medicine and they carried it to the front. They emailed me when it was ready. And I said, it's ready. It's under your name. And she just walked in and grabbed it and walked out. I love me some Target.
Not sponsored by Target. but let's just say it should happen. Should happen.
They do get thousands of our dollars a year.
They do. Moving along here, more comic news here. Stepan Sajic recently tweeted that his pitched project after his 6th issue of Justice League Odyssey, which I can't wait to read, has been approved, which is a DC Black Label project. We still don't know what it is, but he plans on using the success of that upcoming book to leverage his Poison Ivy pitch titled Isley.
So 2 things here. 1, that Poison Ivy movement is just going to go nuts over that Isley book.
They're going to lose their fucking shit.
Nuts.
They're going to hate it.
I think, probably. But I think it will do very well. Second, what is so, he's already sold this book. So whatever it is, it's got to be pretty good. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's the Batman Catwoman wedding.
I don't even give a shit about that anymore. Don't get me started on that shit.
But it's obviously already sold, so it's got to be something good, which is good news.
I loved his artwork on Aquaman, and that's the only reason we temporarily subscribed to Aquaman was, oh shit, Stepan's on there? Done. And now that he is doing Justice League Odyssey, that's another bonus. We were already going to get, young, sexy Darkseid teaming up with other DC heroes. Did you hear the controversy about that, by the way?
No, because he's young and sexy?
No, not even that. With Stepan, he finished the whole issue and he tweeted angrily about it. Finished the whole issue and then they decided to change the script and he had to redo the whole comic book.
What?
His original contract was 12 issues, a year's worth of comics, and there was someone on Reddit that's like, he quit. He's only going to do 4. And he had to go on Twitter and he's like, no, I'm not upset, but I am only doing 6 now. It's like, you're upset. Come on.
Of course you're pissed off.
But he's not quitting. He's doing more work for DC. So instead he's like, guys, fuck off. I'm not going to finish this shit if you're going to change the goddamn script after I finish the goddamn work ahead of time.
Right.
Fuck you. I'm not like any other artist that just falls behind on everything. And they're like, all right, here, what do you want to do next? And that's when they approved whatever book he was going to do next.
Awesome. Well, that's good news for us.
Yeah, the only thing is now, granted, I don't know who's going to take over Justice League Odyssey on issue 7, but the book's only going to look gorgeous so far as we know, up until issue 6.
You don't know who's coming in after.
That's what I'm saying.
You've already decided they're shit.
There's a handful of artists that Stepan is slightly less favorable to in our eyes, but that list is very short.
We'll see. Maybe they'll get Dusty Wynn.
He's actually working on something right now.
Ah!
Although Descender is about to wrap up with its final issue, Jeff Lemire, Dustin Wynn, and Image Comics have announced its follow-up called Ascender.
Ooh, it sounds like it's related.
Well, they got that fucking movie coming out, so they better keep this comic going.
Just keep, and I lost my place. Here we go. And this book sounds amazing. It takes place right after the last one, 10 years after Descender, and then we have Ascender, and it's all the crazy shit that goes down after the things happen. I'm not going to tell you what happened because that spoils the book, and I haven't read it yet.
Let's just tell you that there will be magic involved in this universe, which we have not seen before in the Descender series and all the 30-something issues that we've been reading.
Yes, this has been all about machines, humans living with machines, how they've pretty much abused machines, and just really cool things, especially in Dustin's art style. I think dealing with magic and fantasy will also lend very well to that art style because he can kind of switch back and forth. So again, it's going to be a beautiful book. If it's anything like Descender, it'll be a well-written journey to go on.
If there's one character that I want to transcend into Ascender, I like the dog just
Driller.
fine. It's fucking Driller, the killer.
Hello, welcome to the land of magic. Driller, real
It's like,
killer.
who's that fucking guy sticking out like a sore thumb out there? Look, we like Driller. Editors know we like Driller the killer. And he is a killer.
He's a real killer. Fucking kill that guy. He killed many guys. I was proud of Driller the killer.
We have a quote here from author Jeff Lemire who says, quote, Dustin and I love the world of Descender and were re-energized by this new direction which has opened all sorts of new storytelling possibilities for us. Ascender will feel like a continuation of the Descender saga, Podcast Award nominated, The Reasons I Broke, and like a brand new book all in one, end quote.
When added, quote, plus it'll be fantastic to switch from drawing machines and metal all day to flesh and fantasy for a while, end quote.
Yeah, as an artist, it's got to be like, all right, this has been 30 plus issues.
Yeah, but he's been drawing Driller the real killer.
Yeah, but even every artist has to be eventually tired of drawing, except for Driller, because he will be an Ascender. He better be an Ascender.
I can draw Buzz Lightyear all day. I do not get tired.
Can you draw panels upon panels of Buzz Lightyear?
Oh, I
month
can.
after month?
I can.
For 3 years?
No one's just asked me to do it, but I can.
Indie publishers out there, you might have to change the name. Just do Buzz with one Z. Buzz Lightyear, and you're set.
I could name him to like Biz.
Biz Lightyear?
Yeah.
Disney won't mind. They'll be fine.
They would hunt me down so fast. Like us even talking about it. Like there's some alarm going off
right
somewhere.
now. We haven't even released the episode. As we're recording it, there's...
Beep, beep. Someone's going to do some bullshit.
Your house, your car, wherever you're at, listener, Brokehead Core, you're bugged.
He knows.
They know.
You're buzzed.
Ascender is set to release at some point next year. Probably spring 2019.
Continuing on with some comic news, Dark Horse has announced that they will be publishing a comic book adaptation of an unproduced script for Alien 3.
Author William Gibson wrote the initial screenplay for Alien 3, though the script that director David Fincher filmed for the 1992 movie was heavily rewritten. Fuck, man. Jesus Christ.
Podcast Award nominated.
I feel like Auntie Fee. Let me know if any of you know Auntie Fee.
You love Auntie Fee.
I adore her. Rewritten.
It's not the same.
Rewrote.
Don't be rewritten.
You saw it.
You're just adding more for episode 400.
Pretty much. God, editor Daniel is going to be mad because I'm just going to be, all right, here's another plug. That's future Daniel, though, is also his issue.
This is present Daniel with your rum and Coke.
That's
and
right.
my venti blonde espresso latte.
You saw Aliens for the first time last year, right?
Yes.
Ellen Ripley, and it's all about the journey of her regaining her motherhood, essentially, and then the new kind of gaining that family again. Beautiful story. Like, aside from all the beautiful action and the special effects were incredible, and the aliens, the horror, which was more action than horror. I don't think you and I ever felt scared or anything during the movie.
I won't say I felt scared. I felt anxious, but that's what I mean. It's a suspense movie.
So it's more suspense and action, you would say?
Yeah, I would say that. Like, they don't turn a corner and it's like, like you always know when they're coming.
Yeah, this is more... See, that's what I love about these kind of movies is that they don't rely on the fucking cheap...
Jump scares.
Jump scare. It's just like, here's the fucking aliens. Let's try to, leave and survive. And with the second one, did you like it, the Aliens?
I did. I'm not big on suspense movies. I mean, I can appreciate them for what they are, and I can appreciate that people like them. But horror and suspense movies make me uneasy. I mean, obviously they're supposed to.
Mm.
And typically I then dream about them at night. And then I'm uneasy all night. So those things just affect me more so than I guess they do other people.
I think you had mentioned that you liked the first Alien better than the second one.
Yes, I believe so. Because I remember the first one more than I remember the second one. So obviously I like the first one more.
Yeah, the first one was way more suspense, way more horror themed, and the second one was all about badass action. To me, it's one of those examples, one of the many examples of the sequel being better than the first one. And those do exist, and people always pretend. And it's like, look, one of the best movies of all time is a sequel. Aliens. One of the other best movies of all time, Terminator 2. Another great one. Tron Legacy, better than the first one. Tons of examples out there. I will stop there because I can't think of a fourth right now. The Dark Knight to many. There you go.
Pocahontas 2. Mulan 2. They were playing Pocahontas 2 at the doctor's office today. That's why I remembered it.
With Alien 3, we have a quote here from Gibson.
Quote, "As for my screenplay, I'd like to point out that I worked from a treatment provided by the film's 3 producers, so it wasn't my idea at all to jettison Ripley. Unhappy with that, as a fan of the previous 2 films, I went for a multiple helping of Bishop, my second favorite human character in the first film." End quote.
Fucking Bishop.
No,
Yes.
I don't like him.
Bishop was the good android. He was half like cut off by the alien queen, hung on to the fucking metal, and still saved Ellen and the Newt when they were hanging on from the fucking space.
Yeah, but like I didn't trust him, so I still don't trust him.
Oh, I see. Well, yeah, because the fucking android in the first one was a fucking beach hand.
Yeah.
And that's what, again, another great twist in Aliens, and one of the growth, I think, as the franchise is, you're like, wait a minute, I saw Alien, I don't trust this Bishop motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, you're like, this Bishop guy's magic. He's amazing.
This Bishop motherfucker.
Love Bishop.
So the solicitation of this book reads, "Following the deadly events of Aliens, the Union of Progressive Peoples intercepts the spaceship carrying the hibernating bodies of Ripley, Hicks, Newt, and Bishop. But unbeknownst to them, they have also picked up another deadly passenger whose discovery will unleash a race between 2 governments to weaponize a xenomorph in this horrifying and poignant Cold War-themed thriller."
It is set to release on November 7th. I'm in. It can't be worse than what we got in Alien 3.
It sounds really cool. It sounds like a great concept if you're a fan of the Aliens franchise. Absolutely, I would say pick this up. Will I read it? Probably not, because I don't have time to read the things that I already enjoy reading.
Yeah, I'll especially be enjoying it now before either Comcast or Disney gets all of these Fox properties. And if Disney gets it and they decide to throw it up on their Marvel or decide not to publish any comics at all, right now we're getting Aliens comics, so read while you can.
Our last bit of comic news is kind of some statistics. We have the top 10 comics shipped from last month, so this is for June.
Yeah, we don't always cover these, but it's interesting that the number 1 comic ended up on top. And so we're going to start from number 10. Number 10 was Justice League number 2, which featured the first brief appearance of the new Lantern Corps.
Number 9 is X-Men Gold number 30.
That was the also non-wedding issue. Do you know about that one?
Briefly, you mentioned it.
So Kitty Pryde and Colossus were supposed to get married. In issue number 30, it turns out that she doesn't want to get married and she leaves Colossus. But in the issue, you actually have the marriage between Rogue and Gambit, which are the bigger mutants in that universe and the bigger couple. So at least Marvel delivered on a wedding, whereas Tom King and DC did not.
But remember, Tom King was being controlled by Bane, so there wasn't much he could do.
Being influenced, yeah. Number 8 was Thor number 1, which brings the Odin son back as Thor.
Number 7 was Deadpool number 1.
As written by Scotty Young. Number 6, Batman number 48, which is a lead up to the non-wedding.
Number 5 was Batman number 49, also a lead up to the non-wedding.
Number 4 was Amazing Spider-Man number 801, which was Dan Slott's final issue after many, many years on Spidey.
Number 3 was Tony Stark Iron Man number 1.
Which was the first of Dan Slott's Tony Stark ongoing to what is probably going to be many years on Iron Man. Number 2 was The Magic Order.
Wow.
Really, really good title. Yeah, it topped out a lot of these, especially Tony Stark Iron Man number 1. That kind of shocked me. But that was one of those kind of incentives that Image put out of, we're never going to do a second printing of Magic Order number 1. And it's going to be on Netflix. So if you guys want it, we're just saying.
Just throwing it out there.
So comic shops were like, fine, let's over-order this shit.
Has it been selling well from a comic shop perspective?
We sold out at my shop, and then we got more transferred in, and those we still have as of yesterday. So I don't know if that hype, but I also sold it really well to my subscribers. I let them know too. I'm like, guys, if you want this, let us know, because there won't be second prints. Mm-hmm. You won't read issue number 1 again until they either do a trade paperback or those Image Firsts number 1s, which either way, it's going to be a while.
I can see this book, and getting off track briefly, going the way of The Walking Dead, where as soon as it pops up on Netflix, people are going to love it. They're going to come and trying to find the comic. Mm-hmm. And because they didn't do a second printing, that first one is now worth so much more.
Yeah. And hopefully by then the trade will be out, and mm-hmm. I can be like, yep, here they are. Because that's how we sold Walking Dead. Like, Walking Dead sold better as a trade paperback at its height than it did in single issues.
And the number 1 comic from last month was Justice League number 1.
From Scott Snyder, Jimmy Chung, they did well. I mean, we're spinning right off of the success of Dark Knight's Metal. However, we may have felt about that story, it sold like crazy. And I didn't like it later on.
I knew from the beginning. That first issue, I was like, Danny, I don't really like this. And you're like, just keep reading, Kelly. It's fine.
Sandman shows up.
And then at the end, you're like, Kelly, I don't really like this. Fucking told you.
And I'm like, Sandman didn't show up again. Also, we're moving on from the comic book news. All of this moving forward is television and movies. DC Universe has announced that the first 2 seasons of the greatest Batman anything ever, future, past, and present, I can say that with certainty. Batman the Animated Series, the first 2 seasons will air on the streaming service in high definition, in HD high definition, for the first time ever.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna, what the fuck? Who are you?
You were just like, get out of my house. You're an android killer.
Are you Bishop?
I am so excited for you. We figured, we hoped in our hearts that this day would come. And now this day is here. And now is the DC Universe streaming service sold for you?
I mean, it had been sold.
But is it like super sold?
It is super sold. Even if it's only 2 seasons, I'm like, I get my... Oh, you know what I don't get, though? I will not get my Demon's Quest. I believe that was season 3. That's the one with Talia and Batman kissing in the sunrise.
It's just the first 2 for now. And then they said that they're burning that episode.
They did not fucking say that.
So is it Super Saiyan God sold?
What's higher than that? The Instinct one?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, it's Super Saiyan God sold, yes.
All right.
And once they add the final 2 seasons after that, then it's Instinct Super Saiyan.
They're still working on them. The quality was not good in some of those episodes.
They were good
a lot.
The quality was amazing.
Yeah, on our shitty-ass tube televisions from 20 years ago.
It's still beautiful to me. Last year, Warner Brothers did announce that Batman the Animated Series was going to release on Blu-ray sometime this year. I'm still waiting for that.
You're still going to buy it.
I would prefer to wait for the Blu-ray release. Like, yeah, I'm still going to get the streaming service and I'll watch it there just fine. But I want to own the greatest Batman anything on a more stable format than DVD, which is what we own it on currently. Especially if I'm going to show it to Leo and I want to show him how to change the discs and everything. With Blu-ray, it's much harder to scratch them bitches than it is DVD. DVD, you put it in the case wrong slightly and it's like, well, that's fucked. You can never watch that again. It's like, can you bring back tape? That's way more stable.
No, because then like he's going to be pulling out that's not way more stable.
You know what's funny is I never did that as a kid. I would open them and then, but I wouldn't pull out all the tape. Like I would just be like, oh, okay. But it wouldn't be so bad that like I could never watch it again. With DVD, you can fuck those up way easier.
Well, you can fuck them up too, but like what if when your VCR goes bad and it goes and like eats the tape and you pull it out and you break the table? That's fucked too. I don't know what VCRs you
had.
Cheap ones.
You must have not had the Sony ones. You must have had Sanyo.
Exactly.
Or was Toshiba
then,
reliable?
And then you had to like, not back then, and then you had to rewind them.
Yeah, that did kind of suck.
Yeah. And you like discovered what the whole movie was about because you had to watch it rewind.
I remember when they invented the tape rewinders,
Yes.
which was like, oh, thank God.
We didn't have those, but whatever.
We had those, like, because they would wear out your tape player, your VHS player. It would wear it out when you're rewinding it constantly. So you would buy a separate one, which was specifically made for this. It would have a stronger engine, a stronger rewinder than what your VCR had. It would always beat the shit out of the VCR as far as, like, if you were to race them both, like, twice as quick on rewinding. We ended up buying one. One of our last VCR rewinders was actually a boat. Like, it was shaped out as a boat because it made the exact same noise when you rewinded it.
I had a friend who had one of those. We never owned one, again, because we were poor, and my parents were like, just use the VCR. But theirs was a race car, like a red race car,
cool.
and you put it in, and it went, and like...
Speedboats are cooler.
Yeah. Okay.
DC Universe is set to launch next month. Fuck yes!
Done. We're going to have that day one. You're going to be playing Batman the Animated Series. Like, Leo, watch this.
I don't know how the fuck the internet got excited on this. Like, people are really, really excited. Yeah. I'm like, fuck. And they didn't
it's
even...
our
were
childhood.
Excited, but they were excited before Batman the Animated Series. They're like, I can't wait for this fucking app. All those DC animated movies. And I was like, that's the real hook right there. Like, yeah, you've got Young Justice, you've got Titans. But everyone is in agreement, even the Marvel sheep, that like DC does animated movies good, but that's about it. It's like, all right, well, they're gonna buy it because of those.
The Marvel sheep sound like
they have a different voice. They're probably whinier than this. Yeah.
You need to add like "bah" at the end.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to do that moving forward. Please remind me.
They're like some thug sheep.
Hold me to that.
Okay. We cannot wait for this app. I'm sure we'll have a review of it when it first comes out.
We've seen some behind the scenes photos of Shazam in the past. I edited it. It's fine.
Oh, I
editing
don't get
Daniel
to be the
got
lightning?
it in there.
All
We'll do
right.
both. Both are in there.
All right, fine.
Well, they have revealed through Entertainment Weekly the first official photo from the Shazam film.
It doesn't look right. No, I'm just kidding. So it really does look like it's straight out of the New 52's iteration of Captain Marvel. And we see Shazam and his buddy drinking, quote, cola outside of a convenience store. We all know it's beer.
I really wanted them to just fucking go for it. Even if it was like a scene of, oh, that's not very good. And then they just left it. Like, that would have been really funny. But instead, they're like, oh, we can buy cola. Like, the joke isn't quite as funny when they're not buying beer. Like he transforms and he's an adult and he can go in and buy cigarettes. Like, he can buy whatever he wants. That's what I wanted to see play out. And maybe we do get it. But I know someone upstairs went, we can't have underage kids drinking beer on this movie. This isn't the 90s.
And we wish it was.
We wish, yeah.
But it does. It looks great. I don't even remember his name. I know him as Chuck from Chuck. But he does look exactly like Captain Marvel. You know, we saw kind of the pillow muscles, but post-editing, it looks great. Mm-hmm. It looks exactly like it should.
Yeah, and someone said, and look at that, DC is still king on costumes in film. Like, they always look amazing. One of the things, it's like, even if however you feel about Batman v Superman, you can find all of these different panels and screenshots and compare them together. And it's like, Zack Snyder did Frank Miller's work almost like he did Watchmen. It is beautiful to look at, but no one reads it that way. They just, they were ready to throw spears at fucking the DC universe, the DCEU. But this looks to be something very different from what they've done in the past. And as we've said before, by its own nature, Captain Marvel and the Shazam New 52 series or backup series is different from the rest of the DC universe. So maybe I think this is looking to be a hit with all audiences.
Hopefully.
And I think it's going to be kind of like Wonder Woman, where it's also well received. When can we watch Shazam, Paul Kelli?
It is set to release April 5th, 2019.
Less than a year away.
Ooh, like half a year away almost.
So Warner Brothers has officially announced that they are moving forward with a Joker solo film starring Joaquin Phoenix. Todd Phillips from The Hangover will direct, and Martin Scorsese, one of your favorite directors of all time, who also directed Shutter Island, is going to produce.
According to The Hollywood Reporter, the budget will be $55 million, low compared to major superhero films, but I feel the right price point for this solo Joker film.
I think that's fucking genius because they will make well over $55 million from curiosity alone.
Oh, yeah.
You know what that means?
People are going to see it just to see it. What is this Joker film about?
Even the let me see. I'm going to write a blog about it.
A
Blog. And Ant-Man and the Wasp is way better.
The Avengers.
You started something. Not as good as Infinity War.
I can't stop. Move on. I can't breathe. Oh my god.
It's also the direction that I think Warner Brothers feels probably safer on by going, it's only $55 million. It is well less than half than what we spent on Batman v Superman, on obviously Justice League. And it's a way safer bet too by the fact that it is a Joker film and they are going to make that incredibly quickly, just on merch, on the direct-to-video sales, everything.
I feel like the direction we feel that they've talked that they're going with this movie where it's set, what they say, the 80s?
It's got to be the Killing Joke. There's no way it's not the Killing Joke.
Further back, I would hope that there's less of a need for special effects.
Exactly.
For this movie. So you don't need as much money. BVS, Justice League, yes, you had a lot of special effects. So you got people flying around and bullshit.
Fighting Doomsday.
Fighting, yes. This is Joker. He's gonna have like Tommy guns, like I mean, we hope that's a movie that we want to see. But there's less need for that. So yes, you can go with a lower budget and hopefully still turn out something fantastic that, exactly like you said, is going to make back its money plus some.
Filming is set to start as early as this September.
Wow.
And will be set apart from the DCEU continuity. I know they already said it's going to be filmed at some New York set. So again, that's a lower budget type of film, which sounds like it's going to be more of an exploration of this man that will probably be named Jack Napier in this.
Now that the project has officially been greenlit, Joaquin opened up on talking about the project.
I'm sure he was asked up and down
the
fucking street about this, and he's like, I can't talk about it until I get paid for this shit. I'm not going to promote this.
But I'm a rapper now.
That was a long time ago.
We'll never forget Joaquin.
Quote from Joaquin: I wouldn't quite classify this as like any genre. I wouldn't say it's a superhero movie or a studio movie it feels unique, and I think more than anything, and probably the most important thing, is Todd, the director, seems very passionate about it and very giving, and so that's exciting, end quote.
Those are all good things to hear.
Do you expect to see any other DC character in the solo Joaquin Phoenix Joker film?
I could potentially see a Harley. Not the Harley that we're used to, but a henchwoman of sorts.
I don't think we'll see a Harley.
No?
I think it will be straight Killing Joke without Batman, if that makes any sense. It'll just be an origin Joker film with the tragic comedian, the unfunny comedian, who ends up getting wrapped up in these wrong and bad deals with these bad people. So it's going to be a sympathetic tale of... it will be, when this releases, the best, by the nature of they haven't done it yet, the best villain superhero origin movie and solo movie. I think it's going to be one of those movies that after it releases, people are going to say, make him the Joker, of the rest of the universe. And I think I'm really excited for it because they're taking a more independent approach to this as opposed to a larger superhero type of explosive type of movie.
I think it's a very smart approach to take, though, because again, you can have a smaller budget. Again, you have more freedom because it's not, this is in the continuity that we're in. It's, we're going to tell this great story. And that's really what we like from DC and about their superhero movies, is they tell a good story.
If this does end up being the Killing Joke set up as a big screen film, can they do it without Batman at the beginning, in between the movie, and at the end?
Yeah, they can make it happen.
Just make it the story of him?
You just make it the story of him, but you don't necessarily need to completely not have Batman in it. So let's say you get through this whole movie and you get to the very end. Of course, he's full on Joker now. He's doing all this bullshit and you just see the bat signal, or, you know, you see a shadow, or he sees something move in the rooftop, some bullshit like that. Like, that's all you need is just a nod to Batman. And then that's a great way to set it up. It would be very reminiscent of Batman Begins, when he flips over, you know, he left his calling card and it was the Joker, and everybody went, whoa, because then that set it up for another movie. You could have something just like that at the end of it, and whether you choose to make another movie after that or not, that's your discretion, but you've still set yourself up for a continuation.
And Joaquin Phoenix, his casting continues the trend of Warner Brothers really going out there and getting this quality talent behind every one of these Joker roles. Like, I know the recent Suicide Squad Joker is more polarizing as far as the rest of the viewers and the rest of the critics. But you had fucking Jared Leto behind this role, who was Oscar winning, and Heath Ledger ended up winning a role because of the Joker. So it's like there's always this massive talent behind this, what is any actor's dream role.
I mean, you have to be with the Joker. Like,
how challenging is that shit?
It's so incredibly challenging because you have to portray a truly insane person, but then the Joker still has bits of clarity. Like, how do you pull that out? Like, I'm crazy and I have no clarity. So I couldn't even pull it off.
I'm going to go ahead and say, I think the Joker's less crazy than your average woman. Like, there's more clarity to him.
Get out of my house. Move on.
There's been no release date yet set for this Joaquin Phoenix's Joker film.
I could throw out there, it's because of the men in our lives that we go crazy.
It's for the men in his life, for sure. Yeah, that's what they fucking tried to get him to rob that fucking Ace Chemical. What are they doing?
B-chance.
That does wrap it up, though, for our news this week. Let's head into our Brocat block and talk about what is happening with Papa Kelli and I and the rest of the podcast.
I had an interesting week this week. I lost 5 pounds.
Oh, congratulations.
I got a stomach bug and threw it all up.
Some models do it that way.
No, it was horrible. That was my week. I woke up one morning super sick. My first day at my new job, and I had to call in sick.
Awful.
So that was one of my days. I did, like I just mentioned, start a new job, or it's
position.
It's the same role but a new location. So I started that. It seems great so far. You know, everybody's really nice. So just going through the training, it'll be for the entire month.
You said it was less stressful than your old one.
Yes, nothing's as stressful as my old location. So yes, less stressful than my old location. Still a lot to learn. Whenever, and I'm sure you faced it, whenever you go to a new place, you know, you go through the training, but you kind of have to bite your tongue for a little while and just observe. And take a step back. And then wait till you're done with training, and then rain hell.
Jesus.
So I don't think they're going to like me very much in the beginning, but consistency is the key.
That's one of the reasons I really liked when I got my promotion as manager at the comic shop, is that I didn't get promoted at my home store.
Right.
They opened up a new one, and they made me the manager of the new store, where it's like a fresh start. Like, everything it's done this way. Whereas if I had been promoted at the old shop and they moved that manager to that one, which almost happened, it would have been like, all right, guys, I know we did things differently, even though when I was a regular full-timer, but this is how we're doing things. Now, it would have been way more difficult.
And it's difficult. I mean, just more fun facts about me. That's what happened to me when I became a manager, you know, where I work. Is I used to be, you know, I was now the manager of people that I used to be peers with. And I was now a peer with people that used to be my manager. So that is, I mean, I completely understand that is a very difficult position to be in. And I've learned a lot by going through that experience. But now I am in a brand new place. And I'm going to rain hell. No, I just...
You're going to be like when I used to work at a company, and then a new manager also came in, and I really fucking did not like that guy. He picked on me, though. Like, when I told him that I was leaving this company to work full-time at a comic shop, he laughed in my face, said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, go on." And I'm like, "You motherfucker, you're just a piece of shit human being."
He is.
So, like, on top of all this dumb bullshit that he tried to implement into this location, which was not, like, anywhere he used to work at, I'm like, this is like the outer skirts, man. This is not like where you used to work. It's fine. You can have a laid-back attitude here. So, over many reasons, I did not like him. So, you're going to end up being pseudo that person.
No, because I do things differently. I have high expectations, but I hold everyone to that same standard, and I still try to build relationships with people. That's the key, building relationships. So anyway, that was my week. Leo had a doctor's appointment today. No shots, thankfully.
That's good.
He is over his cold, which is also great. And the doctor said he's healthy and happy and right on target with everywhere that he should be.
Except his height.
He's a short little man. But his head is still huge.
As it should
and
be.
his weight is spot on. And I said, cool, so my kid isn't sleeping through the night. Like, I would really like to sleep. What can I do? And she goes, let him cry. And I was like, oh my God. And she goes, you'll thank me. Trust me. So essentially, we have trained our child to wake up at 2 and 5 to eat. And she goes, look at his weight. He doesn't need those feedings. You can cut him out. You just need to teach him how to put himself back to sleep.
I think it's going to be a lot of, binkies, like just putting the bink back in and hoping that calms him down enough to go to sleep.
It'll be a lot of us having self-control and not picking him up and cuddling him because I love cuddling my baby.
When are we going to try this new method of not just feeding him every, 2 and 5?
So I have vacation coming up the end of this month, so I feel like that's a good time because then I can just focus my attentions on nap time sleeping in his own bed, bedtime sleeping in his own bed. He'll have consistency because I'm there all day. I was telling my parents all this, and they're like, yeah, Kelli, your dad did that. That's how we got you. And, my mom was saying she would have a hard time letting me cry. And then Dad would say, it's okay, I'll take care of it. I said, great. So he's just going to stay at your house till he learns this. And they laughed in my face. So hopefully by the end of this month, he will be trained.
So for the next 3 episodes, do not be surprised if we are not quite as energetic as we are today.
Oh, that's what the big coffee's for.
I don't have that excuse. I'm just like, it's my regular rum and coke. I slept okay last night, like considering that we woke up a few times. It's like...
Oh, I slept like shit, but that's okay. I'm glad one of the two of us. That's how it always works. One parent usually gets decent sleep and one does not. So then you balance each other.
Our podcast is now, I don't know if you know, but Google actually formally set up a Google Podcasts app.
That's awesome.
So before, a lot of podcasters and podcast providers like Liberated Syndication, and that's our host, were telling them, you guys need to have a native podcast app, just like Apple does on their iPhones. Every iPhone comes with iTunes. It comes with Apple Podcasts.
It comes with a podcast app. Like it's on my phone. You just boop.
And Google, the Android phones do not. Instead, Google comes with Google Play Music, which every phone has, every Android phone has. So when they decided to integrate podcasts into Google Play Music, we were like, okay, that's great. We'll hype that up. But that is not a podcast app. People are still going into Google Play Music to play the music that they've downloaded onto their phone. They're using Spotify to stream music. They're using Google Play Music most of the time just to play the shit that's already on the device. So they've finally come out with Google Podcasts, and that is its own separate app, just like Apple has their own podcast. So we are now on there. You can find us on Google Podcasts. The problem is that these are not native to every Android phone. So it's not like the Apple devices, the iDevices, where you already have the podcast app. You actually have to go into Google Store, Google Play, and download Google Podcasts onto your Android phone. So the reason we're pushing it, and if you don't have a really good Android application, I do always promote Pocket Casts. That's my personal favorite because I'm an Android user, and that one is amazing. I think it's better than iTunes is, but that is also our number one device, and downloads is from iDevices, so no crap on them.
Well, and I haven't tried to download podcasts on my Android, but Apple just makes it very convenient to download because
So that's the key.
Because of the podcast app. It's very convenient. I was learning Spanish through a podcast for a while, so that's how I know. But I could go and subscribe, and it just download right in there. And then because it's connected to my car, as soon as I start my car, wherever I was in the podcast would pop up and keep playing. So it was very convenient.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. With this one, though, the reason why a lot of podcasters, you will find if you listen to a ton of podcasts, and if you listen to this one, you probably listen to others, they will start promoting Google Podcasts because if many people download that app, then that tells them, like, okay, there's interest in this. Maybe we will make it a default on all Android devices.
That'd be awesome.
If you want to see that, or if you want to try out a new app and maybe it's better than what you listen to on Android, give that a shot on the Google Play Store, Google Podcasts.
You guys also heard us talking about it all through the show. We are in the nomination period for the Podcast Awards 2018. You can nominate us for Games and Hobbies and
People's Choice.
People's Choice.
A lot of people have been forgetting. It's not just Games and Hobbies. It is also People's Choice. And People's Choice's list is every podcast that is up for the nomination. But scroll on down to T. It is actually under The Reasons I'm Broken, not R. So go down, click on People's Choice as well. And if you've already voted and you're like, oh shit, I only voted at Games and Hobbies, log back in. You can change it. And up until the end of this month, that's when your vote will be counted and you'll be in. Everyone else, though, make sure to nominate us. Head on over to podcastawards.com. If you haven't already seen many of the tweets that we have put out about it, just head on over there. It'll send you a quick email making sure that you're not a bot with a little code. Click on that, enter it in, and you can nominate any one of these podcasts on the Games and Hobbies, though, and People's Choice. The Reasons I'm Broke podcast, we would appreciate it very much so that we can have our second time nominated in a row for the Podcast Awards.
Driller is a real sad killer that he can't nominate us.
That's right. You can, though.
Only humans, no
Only
bots,
humans.
please.
You got to do it, everyone.
But we are a bot-friendly podcast.
Especially Android. With that out of the way, let's head into our Patreon shout-outs of the week.
We have 3 shout-outs this week. First one goes out to Robin, whose Twitter and Instagram is at Robin Concepts.
Robin recently posted some comic-style warm-up sketches, and his dog Melly recently celebrated her 15th birthday.
Wow, that is amazing.
We're huge dog people, so
the biggest.
Very lucky, Robin. 15 years is amazing for dogs, and it's 15 years of gold. The dogs are one of the greatest animals on this planet.
Now I'm all sad. That's so sweet. Love that dog.
Beautiful dog, too. Beautiful.
Love that
Posted
dog.
up pictures. Again, Robin, Instagram, at Robin Concepts.
Next up, we have Matt, whose Twitter handle is at Mr. Forklift.
He retweeted the Kevin Conroy Batman fact that he also voiced the very first line in Batman the Animated Series as the helicopter pilot.
What's that? Isn't that what he says?
Yeah, what was that? With Man-Bat flying by?
Yep, that was a great first episode, too. So smart.
Amazing. Amazing episode. Final shout out goes out to Rob on Twitter at TheRealSciTech.
His mom recently bought him a big-ass Pikachu plush.
It would have made you jealous.
I am jealous. I didn't even see it, and I'm jealous.
It's a big-ass Pikachu.
I want a big-ass Pikachu.
Big-ass Pikachu. It is laying on his fucking bed, and it takes up most of the fucking bed.
Damn,
Might have been a couch.
I need that.
Either way, big-ass Pikachu.
Big-ass Pikachu.
Huge thanks to Robin, Matt, and Rob for your Patreon support. If you too would like your shout-out every single month for just $1 a month, just $1, less than Kelly's coffee.
Way less.
You too can support us on patreon.com/thereasonsimbroke. It gets you the podcast early, everyone. You get a special RSS feed to get the show early every single week.
But of course, the best thing you can do for us, guys, is leave us a review, especially Apple Podcasts. It helps other people find us, but let your friends know about us. It's free, and it helps get the word out there.
Only takes 2 minutes. If you need a link, head on over to thereasonsimbroke.com. Let's say you are an Android user. head on over to thereasonsI'mbroke.com, click on Apple Podcasts. It will take you straight into the app or the program, and from there you can leave a review. All you need is an email.
And with our shout-outs out of the way, we will move into our last two segments of the podcast. First, our comic book review of Catwoman #1, and then our interview.
Catwoman #1 is titled Copycats Part 1. The story and art are by Joelle Jones, colors by Laura Allred, who won a Brosker Award.
Yes.
I'm sorry, not the Broskers. The Breisners for Silver Surfer.
Same thing.
Both as valuable. Correct.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
It is the same thing. Both equally as valuable. So this spins right out of Batman #50.
Mm-hmm.
Right on the fucking cover, it says, "Do I marry him or not?" It's like, yeah, this would have been nice, DC, fucking months ago, if you had made this a will they or will they not. One thing I want to point out about this review with Catwoman #1 is it seems like DC has cut corners on the printing for the comics. So if you notice, the pages are made out of like a more newsprint-ish, not quite alternate comics, but a different printing on these pages. So they're not as glossy, which makes it easier for me to take pictures of these panels when I share them on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. But also, I actually think with that aside, it does make the colors pop a little bit more.
I agree. Yeah, I thought this was a very pretty book. I mean, again, Laura Allred, her colors are always very vibrant.
Yes.
Anyway, but as far as the story goes, like you said, it spins right out of issue #50. We get to see a little bit of the fallout for Catwoman from that.
With Alfred's little letter.
Alfred.
Like that she should just come back.
She should
that.
just go back.
Who would not come back after you get an Alfred letter that's like, we figured you might miss this. It's like, all right, I'm back.
Here I am.
I'm fine. There will be no Batman. So be it.
But I did enjoy that we touched on that a little bit. It wasn't just her being cold-blooded, like, peace, I'm gone. It was, you get to see that she actually, that this decision really hurt her. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I'm very glad that we got to see that. It's her, the premise of the book is there's a copycat Catwoman running around doing evil things for some skeleton lady. Yeah,
like an evil corporation type of thing.
And she's out to clear her name because they're seeing her as a murderer, killing all these cops, etc., etc.
And in it, that she debuts her new costume, which we saw the reason for this too, not only for the new look and the new merchandise that you can sell, is it differentiates her from these copycat different cat women that are going to show up in this book, and they show up in this book itself too. So the story itself I felt was a little bit lighter, all things considered, and so far I'm in that like, okay, let's give it 3 for now, because so far it's not incredibly substantial, but it's going to depend. The artwork itself is stronger to me than the story.
Can I tell you, I really like her hair too. I know that's a weird thing to point out, but they've changed her hair from the really short, like it's grown out a little bit.
Did it really?
It looks really nice. It looks very classy.
I missed it. I felt like it's just
kind of like parted differently, swept over. You can kind of see it on the cover.
Okay. Yeah, I see it there.
It's really nice. Like, I would like that haircut, except it would look real shitty on me. But it looks nice. As
a non-fan, or maybe we did like the writing in Batman 50. We didn't like the marketing and what ended up happening. Are you liking Catwoman #1 as her new ongoing series?
Yes, I think I will like it more if we continue to see the fallout from 50. So make me feel really shitty that she did that.
The problem is it won't be standalone then. So all the people that aren't reading Batman and are just reading Catwoman, that won't be for them really.
I mean, it could be. You just have little touches of it in every comic. It'll be fine.
You should have just said, well, I'm reading Batman,
I'm reading,
so
and
I want it for
the
me.
Emperor, so that's what matters.
Yeah, I say give it a shot. If you have, extra couple of dollars, and if you're reading Batman especially, I think you should try out the first issue. We'll see how the series goes and progresses as we go. At least flip through it. If you're at your local comic shop, pick up Catwoman #1 and flip through it, because it is very pretty to look at. That is our comic book highlight this week, though. Let's head into, and Papa Kelly will say her goodbyes here, and we will say goodbye to the Brokehead Core as well, as we head into our interview this week with Insight Editions themselves. We've got a representative here. We've got Eric Chang, who I don't know if we haven't talked about it as a podcast, but we've actually been talking to him for a while. He reached out to us as a listener of the Reasons I'm Broke podcast And we talked about the variants hardcover that released and he sent over to us. Beautiful hardcover. We go into that in this interview that is coming up. But it is also the promotion of this new hardcover that is releasing in September. I know you guys really like our industry interviews, and this month we do have, this is our first of 3 back-to-back interviews that we have for the podcast, so we hope you enjoy our interview with Eric Chang. Papa Kelli, go ahead and give your adieus.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. This is where I sign off. Broke at core, all will be well.
Enjoy the interview right here on the Reasons I'm Broke podcast. Hello and welcome to the comic book highlight, the interview portion of the podcast this week. And here we have a representative from Insight Editions Marketing, actually, and we have Eric Chang, who is here to talk about Insight Editions and DC Comics' Anatomy of a Metahuman, set to release this September, so less than 2 months away. Welcome to the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, Eric.
Hey, thank you very much for having me. Glad to be here.
So this Insight Editions latest hardcover is a 160-page is this going to be as sized as the previous one, which were the DC collections of all of the variants?
Yeah, so it is going to be a similar format, definitely a large book. But yeah, you got your hands on the variant, so it's going to be about that size.
Yeah, that is a monstrosity of a book. It is a beautiful format, especially when you look at the different variants, the different covers, and it puts it in full detail. I think for a lot of the original art as well, it is formatted to what they originally drew it on if they weren't doing it digitally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when you get it in your hands and you're really seeing, the detail of everything, with DC variants at least. But I think that with Anatomy of a Metahuman, it is kind of made in a format to feel like a handwritten, like paper book, a journal that Batman would have somewhere in the Batcave.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about Anatomy. First, real quick from you, Eric, Insight Editions, they do these releases. Do they often partner up with DC? And what do you do for Insight yourself?
Yeah, so we do work with a lot of licensors. We've done a few books with DC. I personally am a marketer, so it's working with licensors, getting promotions up online, running our social media channels, reaching out to wonderful people like Reasons I'm Broke podcast.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny too, because I told you guys this in my first email, but when I reached out to you guys for variant covers, previous to that, I was just a fan. I just love listening to your guys' podcast every week.
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And you had mentioned Insight themselves, so they partner up with a lot of different. Is this the second time that they've partnered up with DC as far as this larger format on the hardcover?
With the larger format, yes, I would say this is probably our second book in that size. But previous to this, we've done like journals, stationery sets. We also have a line of wood DIY models called Incredibuilds, and we do a few things with DC on that. And then in the past, we've also done a series called World According to, and then we did it for different characters. So like World According to Batman, Joker, and kind of just diving into the characters like that.
Very good. This one itself, the Anatomy of a Metahuman, as you mentioned, it is written from the perspective as if Batman has been compiling this incredible physiology of these different heroes and villains from the DC universe. And these include Bane, Brainiac, Superman, Killer Croc, all written from his perspective. I mean, it's almost like you're discovering your own little personal Batcave treasure.
Yeah, absolutely. For any DC fans out there, which I bet there's a ton listening.
Most of our listeners, yeah.
This is the journal that Batman had in like Tower of Babel and like Justice League Doom. This is like the thing that he wanted to keep from the Justice League, because he isn't just diving into the anatomy of how, their powers work, but for each character, there's a section where he writes down the hypothesis of how to defeat them if they go rogue, or if he just needs to really step up in that manner.
That's one of the things I noticed from the spreads that you sent over when they were when he was really looking at Superman's abilities, and especially with how his eye worked, he himself had some notes of, and you read it right there in the hardcover of, must investigate further. So even some of the things that he doesn't yet understand, you as the reader know, okay, Batman's going to figure this part out eventually, but for now, he has noted in this thing, not sure how that works yet, but we're going to figure it out.
Yeah, it definitely reads like a live journal, as if, it's constantly evolving. He has notes of what he needs to do in the future to kind of figure out how things work or how to defeat his enemies or his friends if he needs to.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely, there are some parts that are written in where he just dives into their powers, but then there will be little side notes that says, note to self, look further into this, or like dive into this, or anything along those lines. So he's definitely still learning.
And this journal written by S.D. Perry and Matthew Manning. So they are the voices of Batman in this hardcover. And Matthew Manning previously did Batman TMNT Adventures. So that is the perspective of one of my favorite versions of Batman. My favorite version of Batman is the animated series. So if you have one of the talents that wrote the Batman TMNT crossover of the Adventures, which are the two of my favorite animated series from both, as the voice of Batman, like that's already a step in the completely right direction.
Yeah, working with these big licensors, especially like DC Comics, when we're diving into these books, we are definitely asking them who they would suggest for talent when it comes to writing, writers and everything like that. So we're definitely getting the best of the best, and we're just trying to get people that DC love as well, and hopefully DC comic fans love as well.
Yeah, I was curious how that worked, if it was from in-house talent, or it sounds like it's even better where DC is telling you this is probably the right couple of people for this project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely different. This book specifically, it was actually, the idea was made by one of our editors. The editor of the book is Chris Prince, and he's been working on this book for, it must have been like 5 years, just trying to get it made. So he had this idea. He pitched it to DC Comics. They said, get in touch with Matthew and SD Perry. Yes, absolutely. And everything just, fell together. And, of course, we can't go without mentioning Ming Doyle. Her illustrations in this book are absolutely amazing.
Incredible. If you're reading Constantine Hellblazer, that's where you may have seen Ming's work before. And on the spread especially, that really looks gorgeous in it. Even if you put aside Batman's notes, like that Swamp Thing portion, that Swamp Thing spread, absolutely beautiful. And then the notes are just like the frosting on that cake. Even as a visual treat, it on its own is a beautiful hardcover.
Yeah, I was speaking of Swamp Thing, I was really happy that we can get, some characters that are not part of like, the big picture of DC Comics, at least, that most people would be like, I know everything about this character. So getting a little bit of a deeper cut with characters like Swamp Thing was nice.
And I'm sure it was even fun for Ming to work on something out of the format of comics, which, yeah, you have your panel format, you have your restrictions when it comes to that page. But for this particular hardcover, just from looking at the spreads, it sounds like she could do a little bit more with the characters and with the anatomy on all of these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just going into the illustrations of the book, it is all based on just regular anatomy of humans, of the illustrations that you find like that. So letting them dive into these really crazy out of this world characters, but asking them to, I want to see what the inside of his arm looks like. I want to, I want to see the flesh. I want to see the bone, and just letting him dive into that. It was just really incredible.
Yeah, this hardcover itself is going to be hitting on September 18th. For $50, and the diamond code that you can take to your local comic book shop for them to look up, it's going to be in today's show notes. So if you swipe over, head onto the description and you will find it. But it is June without the E, so JUN 181837. And as soon as the comic shop worker plugs that right into Diamond, it'll pop right up. Or if they simply do a search for Anatomy Metahuman, it'll pop up right there and just set it from release date. Once again, September 18th for $50. Insight Editions, you're also going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, right? You're going to have a booth at the biggest convention in the world.
Yeah, so just in a couple weeks here, we are going to be at San Diego. We do have a few things going on. For this book specifically, we have a free poster that we're giving away that's going to be the cover of the book.
Oh, beautiful cover too.
Yeah, that's Superman and the Vitruvian Man look, and then like little panels on the side as well. But also, outside of that, we do work with a lot of licensors. We do have a lot of books coming out. So we have Harry Potter stuff at our booth. We're going to have Rebecca Sugar, who's the creator of Steven Universe, and she was a writer of Adventure Time. She's going to be at our booth for a signing. Mm-hmm. We're going to have drummers of Black Sabbath and Kiss at our booth for a signing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We're doing a book called Crash by David Frangione, and it just goes over the most iconic drum sets. So having them there is going to be incredible. And then, more free posters. We're doing stuff for Buffy, Harry Potter, Power Rangers, and Firefly. So we're going all over the place this year.
Will you also have a preview of Anatomy of a Metahuman at that point, or is it a little bit too early and we're marketing the book instead?
We will have a behind the closed doors preview for some guests. Unfortunately, that's not open to the public.
Okay.
But we are expecting, we're going to be putting out more spreads pretty soon here. So for anyone who's curious, of course, feel free to follow us on any social media. All of our stories, all the press that we get always goes up there at Insight Editions. But also keep an eye here too, because I'm going to be throwing stuff towards Daniel and Kelli for them to share as well.
Yeah, we definitely will. We'll put it up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere that the Brokehead Corps follows us. You will find it. And there will be, of course, links to where you can follow Insight Editions on Twitter, on Instagram, in today's show notes for today's episode. And real quick, just to round off the Anatomy of a Metahuman, once again, you can pre-order right now at your local comic book shop. It's 160 pages, a full hardcover, and let me tell you, it is massive. I'm going to put up a picture, again, of the variant hardcover, just so you can put that up next to like a trade paperback, and I'll share that on Twitter so everyone can see just how massive these are. And with Ming Doyle's artwork and then with Batman's notes, this is going to be a comprehensive hardcover, and for the price itself and the size, unbelievable. Like, this is truly a good value from Insight.
Yeah, and I stress to all the listeners, please go support your local comic book shop. Go talk to the owners, see if they've heard about this book. They will probably know something about it since it's been in Diamond, but yeah, please go support them. That'd be great.
Aside from their local comic shops, because I know some listeners don't have one in their immediate area, where else can they pre-order Anatomy of a Metahuman?
Yeah, so pre-orders are going to be, or they're available now on Amazon as well as Barnes & Noble.
If you just search Anatomy of a Metahuman, it will pop up there. What about for you, Eric? Is there anywhere that the listeners can follow you or find you in case they have some questions, or should they head straight to Insight Editions?
I am on the social team, so go to Insight Editions. If you have any questions you want to ask me personally, just tag Eric and I'll answer for you through there. But yeah, any questions, feel free to DM us or just post on our walls or anything.
Awesome. Anything else before we head out on Anatomy of a Metahuman, or anything else coming out from Insight that you wanted to cover?
I guess the last thing I have to say is just, thank you very much for this podcast. This is great. I can't stress how much of a fan I was before this, so I'm just really happy to be on. And of course, say hi to Kelli for me.
Yeah, I will. I definitely will. She wanted to be on the interview, but Leo is, as we're recording now, getting a shot at the doctor. It's not a fun time for them right now, but it just has to get done,
Absolutely.
So yeah, I will definitely say hi, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the kind words, Eric, and
Absolutely.
for reaching out again for the latest release, which once again is Anatomy of a Metahuman, coming in September 18th. 160 pages, everyone. Links in today's show notes. Eric, thank you so much once again for joining us on the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, and for the next big release, let us know and we'll have you back on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.